The aroma from that Marsala wine is so inviting. I can't wait to try it. That is a keeper. I do hope you make this for your friends and family. It will be the highlight of your menus. Hi, I'm Stella V. Come cook with me. Today I'm in sunny Mexico and I'm so excited that you've joined me. I am going to be preparing one of my very favorite dishes, and because I'm using the Instant Pot, I will be able to make a pasta side at the same time in the same pot as my chicken Marsala. I hope you had a chance to see me on my shopping trip to the market this morning. Make sure you take a look at that video if you haven't already done so. I want to thank all my subscribers, really appreciate you, and if you haven't subscribed yet, just click on the subscribe button. And today's recipe will be in the description below. Just click on the link in the description and we'll be happy to send you the recipe by email. Chicken Marsala, classic dish. Perhaps you've had veal Marsala. You can have Marsala with chicken, with veal, or even with pork. I sometimes use a pork cutlet, cut it thin, pound it out, and you have a scallopini. Here we're using beautiful chicken cutlets, and I just love having chicken cutlets here because at the market on Lake Chapala, they are there and they will slice it thin right in front of your eyes. So today our ingredients are chicken, of course, mushrooms, very important to have sliced mushrooms. We are going to be using pasta. Today we're using farfalle, but any short pasta will do. Our aromatics, we've got thyme, garlic, salt and pepper, and my little secret ingredient is a little tiny bit of Worcestershire sauce. And the liquids we'll be using today are, of course, Marsala wine. Just going to give you a little bit of history on Marsala wine. It comes from Sicily, and if you haven't been to Sicily, put it on your bucket list. Fabulous club. Along with the chicken and pasta, the key ingredient is Marsala wine. Marsala wine comes from Sicily, and just an aside, if you haven't been to Sicily yet, it's certainly worth the trip. It has a very distinctive flavor. Unlike many ingredients where you can substitute one for another, Marsala wine is really unique and it is a key ingredient. You should be able to find it easily where you buy your liqueurs. It's in the fortified wine section. You'll find it along with the port, vermouths, sherries. But as I said, it comes from Sicily, very distinctive, and it is what gives Marsala dishes its unique flavor. Along with the Marsala wine, we do need some added liquid in the pressure cooker. So we have chicken broth. I have approximately a cup and a half. It may not be exact, but you'll see as we work along that I just need enough chicken broth to cover the pasta when we get to that step. And now we're ready to start. I'm going to simply hit the saute button. This is a really simple dish, but it is such a good special dish. You'll want to serve it for company, your family, your friends. I'm adding a couple of tablespoons of olive oil to the pot. I never measure, I eyeball it. You can do the same. What we're going to be doing now is lightly browning our chicken and then removing it to a platter. I've already seasoned the chicken with salt and pepper. Once the oil is hot, I'll simply add the chicken to the bottom of the pot. If you prefer, you can take your chicken breast and simply cut them into bite-sized chunks. That'll work as well. And I have about 1.5 pounds of chicken cutlets. This step doesn't take very long at all. We're not cooking the chicken through, we're simply lightly browning it, and then we'll be taking it out of the platter. Out. We're simply browning the chicken, not cooking it through, and we'll remove it to the dish once we're finished doing that. I simply lift each piece out as they're done. We finish with that step. Now I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil to the pot because we'll be adding our onions and getting them nice and translucent. As you can see, by browning the chicken, we've also added a little bit of color to the bottom of that pot. And that color always means flavor. I can hear that sizzling. That is 1 white onion sliced thinly, and to that we'll be adding our garlic, our chopped garlic. The onions have been sizzling for about 2 or 3 minutes. They're getting soft and translucent, so now I'm going to add my 2 cloves of chopped garlic. It's important to add the chopped garlic after a couple of minutes because you certainly don't want the garlic to burn. It's important. The garlic has had a chance to cook for a minute, and before we go any further, we're adding the sliced mushrooms. I've got a pound of sliced mushrooms, and we'll be stirring that in there. And we're going to let all of this cook down for another couple of minutes. Now that the mushrooms and onions and garlic are sauteing, it's time to add our aromatics. We're going to add a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, ground pepper, and really important, we've got a teaspoon of fresh thyme, but if you don't have fresh thyme, you can use dried. Mushrooms and thyme go so well together, a match made in heaven. And last but not least, my little secret ingredient, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. That adds a bit of a depth of flavor. While the mushrooms are cooking down, I thought I'd give you a couple of tips. When you get mushrooms at home, if they're in a plastic bag or a plastic container, make sure you put them in brown paper bag. I always say my brown paper bags for this. And the easiest way I find, never wash them in water, they'll get too waterlogged. I simply brush them off, any dirt that might be hanging to it, simply take a brush and brush them off. And when I use sliced mushrooms, I simply pop out the stem and I slice those separately and then just slice through the main part of the mushroom. Very simple. And keep them in a brown paper bag. You can see the beautiful color that's on the mushroom mixture. The onions, the garlic, the mushrooms, they're ready for the next step. And now we're ready for our magic ingredient, the Marsala wine. We're using the Marsala wine to deglaze the pot. Deglazing means that there's a lot of brown bits down on the bottom of the pot because we've been sauteing mushrooms, garlic, and onions. And we're going to use the Marsala wine, and you'll hear a really great sizzle when you deglaze. We've added the Marsala, and now a very important step is to use your wooden spoon and make sure there's nothing sticking to the bottom of the pot. There could be little brown bits from the chicken or from the onion, but now's the time to use that wonderful liquid to scrape anything that might be sticking to the bottom. I've scraped the bottom, and the vegetable mixture is simmering away in that beautiful Marsala wine, and I just wish you could smell it. It is such an amazing, wonderful aroma. Everything is prepared to perfection in the pot right now, and we're going to cancel the saute button so that we're going to be ready for our pasta. Right now I have prepared in our bowl about a pound of farfalle pasta. You can use any short pasta, penne, rigatoni, they all work well. And I'm dropping the pasta right on top of the mushroom mixture. And very important, do not stir. As you can see, the pasta is simply laid on top of the mushroom mixture. The next step to this now is I'm taking my chicken broth and I'm pouring it over the pasta. And the idea is to just cover the pasta. Enough chicken stock to cover. I think the 1.5 cups was a perfect amount. And now I'm simply going to press down and make sure that I have most of the pasta covered with the chicken broth, and we are not stirring or touching the bottom. One very handy tip is I use a potato masher to evenly press that pasta down. It works really well. And now we're ready to add the chicken back in, and we're simply laying it on top of the pasta. And I'm adding any of the juices back into the pot. And now all the hard work is done. We're going to simply press 6 minutes on the pressure cooker. When you're using the Instant Pot and you set to pressure, make sure that the valve is on sealing. And after 6 minutes, the counter will count down. When that is over, we're going to let it naturally release for 1 minute, and then we'll eliminate the rest of the pressure in the pot. Now we're ready to do the last preparations to our delicious dinner. We're going to remove the chicken to a platter. Perfectly cooked. The Marsala is an amazingly wonderful, delicious, we can't wait to try smell. We're removing the chicken, and now we have our final preparations. We're giving everything a stir. The pasta is perfectly cooked. And now to the pasta, we are going to just put it on saute. We'll cancel out we've canceled the pressure cooking, and now we're going to just put it back onto saute mode. Along with stirring the pasta, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of milk. And now our last step, we're adding a 1/4 cup of cream cheese for extra creaminess. And here we have it, a wonderful chicken marsala dish, fit for company, but great for a weeknight dinner as well. I like to garnish mine with a little bit of chopped fresh Italian parsley, and of course, a little Parmigiano Reggiano. And I always use my microplane because that makes that step so easy. Simply run the Parmigiano easily, quickly over the microplane blade and let it snow. The aroma from that Marsala wine is so inviting. I can't wait to try it. That is a keeper. I do hope you make this for your friends and family. It will be the highlight of your menus. The richness of flavor, you have to try this. Please make it. Send me a comment. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you click on the link. I want to thank all my subscribers. Really appreciate it. The richness of flavor, you have to try this. Please make it. Send me a comment. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you click on the link, and we will alert you to our next video. Cook with me. I'm Stella V.